Okay, just great. So I was talking about Selenium. So look at the page where I am right now. I'm in codingninjas.com. This site is very interesting if you are just starting off with Selenium and generally with test automation. There are a lot of
Sorry,
things to learn.
please. Can you help us be dropping the link on
The
WhatsApp?
links.
Yes, please.
Okay, I think my WhatsApp is here. Automation class. Okay, that is that. No, not that. Sorry. I've almost forgotten where I was coming from. Okay, I will start all over. All right. So we said Selenium is an automation framework, all right, and it supports programming languages like Python, Java, C Sharp, and so on. All right, it is open source, it is portable, and is a web testing framework that is open. Okay, I've explained that already. It is a DSL, domain specific language used for many other platforms. All right, it is simpler to understand and implement, blah blah blah. So when you go home to read up, you will understand why Selenium. All right, now I don't even know why I'm reading the Python part, but there was something that got me here yesterday while I was preparing for this class. All right, and that is the web element part. So you said in Selenium there is the method, or should I call it an instance web element. So an element is an instance of the class selenium.webdriver. So the other day we worked on open browser. You discovered that at some point we had to import selenium.webdriver, all right? Then we also did selenium.chrome driver, all right? So the WebDriver instance is a driver instance for Selenium. Okay, let me close this. The driver instance for Selenium, all right, and it always have properties. It can be a tag, a property, or anything else. After using Selenium to locate an element on the screen, you may wish to click on it and so on. Now, usually it helps to be able to locate a web element. What are web elements? I'm going to explain them. So the web application you see on this kind of sites, you write http means hypertext, abi, http slash slash, then you probably, let me put s because the s part shows that the site is secured. Okay, so you have http slash slash www dot maybe linkedin.com. all right, so what this is, the reason you are able to, anytime you go to a url and then you go there and then you enter it into your tab and all of that, the reason you're able to see display, all right, is because there are web elements that causes it to what, to display. All right, so everything you see on your web application are what, web elements. Okay, so for instance, if I want to automate this page such a way that I want to navigate to this url, that's one, and I want to confirm that I'm on this page itself, or maybe I'm on the learn page, all right, but I want to confirm that, then there are certain elements that I must be able to select for you to display, and that is where this web element, comes into play. So there are lots of methods that comes with the Selenium web elements. All right. So we said, because you want to be able to pick elements on your webs and your web application, you want to be able to perform any kind of scenario. If it is click you want to do, if it is what other thing, if it is input, maybe you want to like enter a form, input values, all right, or you want to display a drop down, all right. So every of the actions you want to do are called the element methods. So we have is selected, is displayed, is enabled, get property, send keys, click, clear, screenshot, submit, different methods. There is also navigate and so on. All right, so we will get into that shortly. So not last week, when we started, we worked on just open browser, right? By the end of tomorrow, we will be dealing with navigating to a URL. All right, navigating to the URL. But before then, I need to explain locators. All right, I need to explain what locators. I didn't finish this book, but I think I still have one or two things there. Okay, WebDriver locators. I need to explain what WebDriver locators are. So I've talked about WebDrivers, I've talked about the WebDriver methods, but there's something called the WebDriver locators. All right, there's something called the WebDriver locators. So we have all those elements on the web page, right? And we have methods that you can use to get them. However, if you want to get them, there are particular attributes to these methods. And for you to be able to get those attributes, you have to make use of what? WebDriver locators. WebDriver locator is just like saying, I am currently in Lagos and I am in local government area. Of course, it is still not clear until I say, okay, I'm not just in this local government, I'm in this street, I'm in this house. I'm not just in this house. Now, this is my I am what is that term we use in geography when we say your what's the name? Your XY coordinates. Can you remember? All right, so you want to get the exact location of where I am, all right, in Lagos. So for you to do that, we make use of what? The WebDriver locators. All right, so now the WebDriver locator, we say Selenium perform actions like click, type, navigate, get ID, get whatever that we saw the other time. Those are what? The actions or methods. But the locators are a way of identifying web elements. The locators are a way of identifying web elements. So we say, okay, because this is a CSS selector, you identify that, oh, this is what? CSS selector. Oh, this is name property, this is class name property, this is tag name, this is link test and expert. So locators are what? ID, experts, CSS selectors, name, class name, tag name, link test, partial link test, and so on. All right, so these are the major ones that we have. Now, for you to be able to locate them, there's something called the inspection method. Is used for viewing elements in a browser. All right, so we experiment with that. Now we'll go to a site. I think there is a site I wanted to use for class. Okay, I think I remember now. So yes, source demo is a static it's a static site for testing. Okay, now this is a site, for example. All right, now I want to be able to locate swag lab element. I want to locate this username. All right, I want to locate this password. I want to locate login. All right, I want to locate any element on this my web application. All right, so the way to locate it is to do what? Is to inspect. I will teach you how to inspect in Chrome and how to inspect in Firefox. All right. Some people decide to use, because there are inspection and what's the name, applications or plugins that work with your browsers. There's Selector Up, if you like. There is Cropat. You can use that. However, I have decided not to use any of it. I have not been using it. I actually prefer to inspect it directly. All right. Now, let's see. Okay. What do I have here? Okay. So I want to locate this username. What will I do? I will come here. Can you see where I'm pointing my cursor, clicking on?
Yes.
There is this arrow here. Go back. You know what this is? This is like a web view thing, but I don't want that. Thing. Okay. I want to return it back to. Okay. Okay. Let me just pick anything here. I actually want it back in my former state, not in a device state.
Would you want to close it and open it again? Maybe another tab.
There is a way
Yes.
they do it there, but actually, okay, source demo, right? Source demo. Okay, good. So I wanted to inspect. It's still the same. I will change it later. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to pick. So you will click on this, and then you will come to whatever you want to pick, highlight it. You see the way I have highlighted it here? You can see div.login_logo. So you can see that this here looks like this is a logo, right? And there is this div in HTML. You might need to go look just briefly through HTML, but it's not really a big issue here, right? So this is the property of this swag lab. It is a logo here. However, that is not where we are going to. So where we are going to is we need to pick an element on swag lab such that we want to be able to click on it anytime you load this page and you click on it. Then we can assert and say, oh, this user is on this page. All right, now what do? As I clicked on it, you see something is highlighted here. All right, let's do it again. Inspect, come here, go back. If it is not picking, it has to be highlighted. Click on this. Here is highlighted now. Now click on it, then you see that something is highlighted here. Can you see? Now when you click on it, right, you click on that three dots. A lot of people don't know how to do this, so they just use selector up and use different things that waste time. Okay, so we have attributes, we have edit HTML, we have duplicate elements, you have a whole lot of things here. All right, however, that is not where I'm going to. So this particular line, you can see it has a class login_logo, right? And what is being displayed is what? This swag labs. So you can right click on that line. Remember, if you just click here, is something else you will see. However, if you right click, you know what it means to right click. If you right click on it, then you can trying to see. Yeah, this is what I'm looking for. So if you right click on it, you will see copy element, copy outer HTML, copy selector, copy JS part, copy X part, copy full X part. All right. So you can copy and come here and say, okay, let me copy selector. If I copy selector, I will go to my notepad somewhere. Let me assume this is my notepad. Alright. I'll go to my notepad somewhere and paste it. See what I have copied though. Alright. What other thing is here? There is copy what? Expert. I can also paste my expert here. Alright. Now, what other thing can I use? Right click. We talked about the other time I talked about selector locators such as ID, expert, CSS locator, name, class name, tag name, link test. So I will tell you how you'll be identifying CS selector, or identify name, class name, tag name, and so on. Okay, so here we have already copied we've copied selector, we've copied expert. Yeah, I think that is basically it. However, that is not all that you can do. All right, now you see that this has a class. All right, we have a class login logo, so you can use this as your class name. All right, login logo, and I think that is all. Okay, now I'm not done. I want to select username. Okay, I will show you how to do the same thing in Mozilla. So click on this. It will highlight whichever one you want to do. Then you see that it has changed the interface here. Now you can see something else. Input class equals to this, placeholder this. All right, placeholder username type equals to, I don't need this one. Okay, now I have name equals to username, class equals to what? Input error form, placeholder equals to what? You know what the placeholder is? This thing that is holding this input box. Placeholder equals to username, type text, username, okay, data text equals to username, ID equals to username, name equals to username. So here I have much more to deal with. Here I have, so most of the time I will just come here and copy the whole thing. I will copy the whole element. Why? Because I have more thing to deal with. There is name here, there is type here, there is, I don't really need the type, so I need the name, I need the ID, right? There's name, there is ID, there is class, there is, and so on. So still going back to my notes part, I'll say this is the element. All right, you see what I copied? So I have here, from what you can see here, I can say this is what I have a name. All right, I have a name element, which is what? Username. I have an ID element. Okay, I have a class. I have all right, so that is it. Also, for you to be able to know the CSS selector, what do? Just say copy selector. Okay, so come here back to this. With that, you know the CSS selector. All right, what other thing? So copy what other one? There's also expert, if you like, but as time goes on, we will use everything, just so you know. Okay, so name, ID, class, CSS selector, expert. Okay, this is CSS. It's different from different elements, so but for this element you can see this CSS selector is different from the CSS selector we copied here. The CSS selector we copied here for the logo, see how the way it look like, right? Then what did we call this one again? I think this was our expert. Okay, so we have the expert. So we have the expert here. Okay, then I think this one was
no, I think that last one is the expert, the where you have the forward slash.
okay. Okay, this one.
Yes.
Okay, so you discover that this web element has different elements within it. This is username, having attribute of what? Input attribute, placeholder attribute, type, ID, name, and so on. All right. If you come to password, the same thing. Password, see, make sure you click on this. When time you this one must be highlighted for this side to be highlighted. So I have my password here. Can you see it is highlighted here? I have what? Input class, this, placeholder, password, type, password, ID, password, name, password, and so on. Alright, those are what? My web element locators. Alright, now going back to our PowerPoint, I gave an example here. Okay, I think this was even the same thing as it's the same thing as what is in my notebook here. Yes, I use the same source demo. I use the same web application. Okay, so we have something like this here. You have the input, you have the where is red? Did I say red? Okay, this must be something else. Okay, this must be something else. Okay, so I think this was I was trying to explain the attribute and tag name. Okay, so in all of this we have not talked about tag name, have we? No. So we've talked about name, we talked about class name, we've talked about CSS selector, expert, we've talked about ID. Look at it, ID is here. However, we've not talked about tag name, we've not talked about link test and partial link test. Alright, so we'll go into that too. So let's get to our Firefox. I need to explain how to inspect. You inspect on Mozilla. So this one here, I will say the same source demo. Is this it? Why is this thing giving me? Do I have to sign it? Okay. What happened to the interface here? It's like this interface is different from okay, version 1. Have they changed it? Okay, says demo. Or is this not the same site we went to? Aha, there are different versions. Okay, so we have this here. I want to inspect. Okay, so my inspection stuff, I prefer it in Mozilla to be down here. Okay, you can also make it on the side. I mean, why do I keep clicking? You can also put it to the side. can put it to the side, you can put it to but I prefer bottom. So now the first one we tried inspecting the other time was what, the swag labs. So this is what, so here you click on, look at this, like the arrow in Chrome is also here. You click on this and then you come here and highlight. By the time you highlight and click, it will also highlight out the elements here. So this is a login logo. All right, this is a class what, login logo, like we saw then. All right, now if you want to do for username also, what do? You click and then it will highlight it here. You can see it's the same thing. All right, however, the advantage that Firefox has is that by the time you right click here, you have more options. Okay, can you see your copy here? Your copy here has what, S path, CSS path, CSS selector. You can even copy the HTML. All right. Oh yeah, there's also copy elements in Chrome though, so you can copy inner HTML. Then yeah, I think this is the advantage. There's show DOM properties. If you click on show DOM properties, all right, if you click on show DOM properties, you will see this. Okay, so this we highlight every attribute that this element has. See attribute, see the baseline, the base URI, child element, child node, class list, class name. Imagine it even put the class name there. What are that ID? See the ID. Okay, directly. Oh, you don't even need to disturb yourself. ID, I think tag name should be there too. Let's see. So I'm taking time to explain because a lot of people always have issues with picking elements. Okay, so this is tag name. Imagine tag name, right? What other thing? I think that is basically all. Tag name, ID. Okay, let's see the ID. ID. All right. Then CSS. There's class name. There is this CSS selector. Okay, you can get that one from. Here. CSS selector. Let me copy it and see if it is the same as the one we have here. Okay, so the CSS selector I just copied now. I'll put it here. Is it the same or not the same? It's the same. Look at this. Okay, so at the end of the day, you can decide to do your inspection on any of the browsers. All right, whatever make it fine for you. Also, you can make use of Cropat, all right, or what's the name? Selector off. Those ones will go straight to it, but some people don't know how to use it, so it might be a little bit difficult. But I will advise Firefox. I always make use of Firefox because it will give me every options and hidden details that I don't see. All right, so that is you inspecting elements. Let's continue. All right, now I'm working with CSS selector name and ID. Okay, I don't know, it's like I didn't update this thing. Okay, so as part of automation, Selenium performs actions such as click, type, on page HTML elements. The locators are the way to identify an HTML element. Okay, I think I've said this already. Okay, CSS selector name and ID. I have what um we have CSS selector, we have class name, we have ID, we have tag name, we have, I will have explained some details about if you want to get custom CSS selector and all of that. However, we might be confused. So the best thing is to just explain how to pick these elements, because that is more important. All right, sometimes you see expert constructed like this. You see tag name, you see input, placeholder, and so on. I've explained how placeholders are. So placeholders are the elements you see visibly on your input box sometimes, just to put them in place, like for the user to know that okay, this is where I will input this element, this username, this password. They are placeholder. However, we also have the place of attributes. The attributes is the value you assign to each any of the elements. So we say ID. Let me go back. So we said input error form input is the attribute of input class here, and username here is the placeholder, all right, for the input box username. All right, we also said type. Type is okay, what is the type of attribute that we have here? Is a text that will be entered. Then there is the ID that will now identify the element. Okay, the element here is what? User dash name, and the name is what? User dash name, and so on. So in, I think in styling in CSS, all right, there is a way you make use of each of these attributes, all right, to style how the interface will look like, how your web interface will look like. That is why they make use of some of these attributes. However, in automation, you also need some of these attributes to be able to locate your elements. That's the essence of making use of this. All right. So I will continue. Okay. I have nothing here left. I'll go back to my page, my URL page here. Okay. So I'll go back to my page and I will explain each of these methods. Hold on, there is a site I went to yesterday. I'm not sure if it is this one. Okay. Yeah, so, oh no, okay, that's no problem. All right, I can send you this link too. Okay, let me send you this link. Browser Stack always have good articles. Oh, I was supposed to send it on. Okay, let me send it on. No. Okay. All right, we have explained class name attributes, DOM. All right, we have the DOM structure or expert, we have the tag name, the link test. Okay, we've not explained the link test, partial link test. There's also HTML tag name and so on. All right, so if you are familiar, okay, I think this is Python. Let me use Java. I don't know why these sites always use Python. Anyway, this is a Python code. So the last time we opened a browser, we imported the WebDriver, all right, and then we located the WebDriver on our system. All right, we located the WebDriver, and then we opened a browser with it. Now the next thing we will do is to navigate to a URL. All right, by making use of the Selenium, the WebDriver method, navigate. All right, this is not showing navigate. This is okay. Okay, I guess I will just go straight into coding since I can't find proper material. Okay, let's go straight into. Okay, all right. So the last time, this was what we did the last time. Mm, okay. Now, okay, I think I was doing this. Let's uncomment it out. Okay, so I instantiate this one where driver equals to what? New Firefox driver. Why? Because it is Firefox driver that I'm using. Then I said driver.get. So when you use dot get means you want to go straight to this URL. There is also navigate. I think there is. I think there is. I think I need. Hold on. Let me use my other system to check for a proper site. Go back. Go. Okay. Okay. I think I have seen one. Okay. Nice one. I want us to be able to make use of Java because I don't know all these Python sites. Okay, so I've seen a site here. Okay. Mm, Selenium. The same error. Oh, wow. Wow. This is interesting. Why is it not going? Can anyone access this site here? Let me send it to you.
Okay, let's try it.
Um,
Java point tutorials.
Javapoint.com. It's going on my other system, but it's not going here. Interesting. Okay.
Okay, I can access it. I'm on javapoint.com.
Okay. So then, so then, so then. Okay, I've even seen Selenium itself. I actually wanted to use something different from my PowerPoint. Oh, this will work. Okay, so I was talking about navigation. All right. Now, I was talking about navigation. We've been able to open browser. However, we need to navigate to what? To a URL, to a web application somewhere. All right. So as you can see here, there is .get, there is .navigate. All right. And there is .back when you want to go back, and there is .forward, and there is .refresh. So all of this that you are seeing, they are what? Selenium methods for browser navigation. Selenium methods for browser navigation. All right. Now, let's see how that works here. So I've written driver.get. Let me comment this out, as the only thing I'm explaining right now is what? Navigation. So we said open this browser and what? Get this URL. Alright. Now let's see if this will run. Okay. Okay. So get the URL and okay. Why does it keep changing my language? Okay. Okay, can anyone do that from their end? I know that it navigated, but it was giving me different conditions. So on your hand, do this. Do driver dot. The only line you are adding to that code is driver dot get the URL. So do that for me. Do driver dot get. Do driver dot get URL. Okay, let's see if you are able to navigate. All right. Anyone? Did you get that? Is it working on your end?
So sorry, me, I'm not trying because I'm not using my where
Okay.
I have IntelliJ to join this class. I'll do
Okay.
that later.
Okay, that's fine. All right. So we have dot get and we have what? Dot navigate. All right. So
Oh, so what you mean is the dot get and dot navigate will do the same thing.
Yes,
Okay.
except that dot, hold on, this takes longer. Dot navigate. So what's this one? So what was it highlighting earlier? Oh, okay. So maybe I can say um mm, 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 okay. So I can say maybe base URL. String base URL constant. Let me go back to my command again. Where did we stop here? We said, oh, there is a tool. Navigate to, oh, no wonder. Okay. So there is a tool, so I won't need this. Okay. So navigate to navigate to URL. Navigate to URL. So navigate to URL and then we run it. Let's use the source demo URL so that I won't have issues. Source demo URL is here, right? Okay. I'm going to close this one that is always asking me to. So we use source demo. Okay. So there we go. We have successfully navigated to this URL. Now we were talking about picking element the other time, right? We're talking about picking element the other time. So we'll try to use, what's the first one? We'll try to work with CSS selectors, name and IDE. Alright. Now remember inspect. When you come here, so I want to be to say that to be sure that I'm on Swag Labs. All right, I'm on Swag Labs page. I will inspect and pick Swag Labs. So Swag Labs has what class, but I can say copy CSS selector. So copy CSS selector. So I'll come here and say Let's make this a little bit neat. Okay. So, so so in trying to locate your element, there is what's the name? There are methods that that are directly attached to the web driver. All right, there are methods that are directly attached to the web driver. I think I've not mentioned it. So we have something like dot find element. Um, we have find element. We have um, we also have find by. We have find by, right? Uh, okay. Let's just talk about those two. Okay. There is find element. There is find by. Now I will try to use both. But in trying to use both, I think there are still some libraries we need to import. Here, it will ask us to import it. So here I have said this is my main method, right? And here we've not, okay, so don't let me jump. So I will say um, driver dot find element by. I've already copied my CSS selector, so I'm going to use my CSS selector. So by what? Can you see what is highlighted? We have CSS selector, expert, ID, name, class name, tag name, link text, class name. We will explain that link text later, but we will explain it. So we have this CSS selector. Now inside the CSS selector, I have to put the value of the CSS selector that I copied. So I have however, it's not going to stay like that because it's a string. So it's going to be like this and terminate. Okay, so I have driver dot find element by dot css selector this. So now that you have done that, that is not enough. It will find it, but what do you want it to do? All right, you can then say maybe the same driver dot 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 okay okay, one thing I can do again is this looks so it's possible that I declare my what's the name, my web elements, all right, so that I can do a click on it. Before I go into that, let's run this. Okay, uh, let's run this. So it will find it, but it will not click anything. Can you see? All right, nothing. But it won't close. I didn't ask it to close the browser. I didn't ask it to do anything. So it will just be there. And what will it say here? Okay, so can you see it ran successfully apparently? Okay, good. Okay. All right. So I want to start locating element. What I will do is, instead of writing everything here, all right, I will create another class. I will
Please,
call it.
please, I have a question.
All right.
Okay, so this is this source lab now
Yes.
that we are using as our case study.
Mm.
So on that screen, we
Mm.
are So what we are trying to do is more or less like we are trying to ensure that that page is actually displayed appropriately before even imputing.
We've not started ensuring. There are terms we use to ensure that it is there, to
Ensure.
assert that it is there, but we've not gotten there.
Okay, okay. Oh, that is assert.
Mm.
Okay. So what we are trying to do now is just to locate those elements.
Yes, what we are trying to do is just to locate. We are still in locators.
Okay, so we have to locate first.
Yes.
Okay,
Before you
so
assert or before you perform any action.
any action. Okay, okay, okay. Thank you.
All right. Uh, you're welcome. Now, when we were learning Java, we talked about constructor, if you recall. So, and we also talked about object method, or I mean, what's the name now? OOP. So, in testing, there's something called POM, page object model. All right. So, when you want to start, let's even create it now. So, I'm going to leave. This is the one we've been using to practice, right? I will create another package. Okay, I'll create another package and call it test. Okay, let me call it test, base test. So you see another package, base test, and inside this other package, base test, I will create a new Java class and call it what's the name now, login. Okay, so I have this base test, I have this login. All right, now inside my base test, all right, I want to put my what's the name, my navigation, my my browser, my navigation. All right, so I will come back here. I think open browser, we put it here the other time. Okay, so I will copy this. I will just want to separate it from, I want to separate the whole of this from the actual application we are working on right now.
Please,
So
I also have another question.
so this is base test. You can ask.
Okay, so I remembered one of those things you taught us last week was what was that name again? Using some code from another. Um, what was that thing that you said last week? You want to make use of a particular code, but is in another class now.
Okay.
Yes. So like this browser opening now, is it possible for so now you have a Java class called login.
Mm.
It's possible to also have another class called open browser. Now, in your login class, you can be going to that class that is an open browser to call some method, and it will still work from your login class, your Java class.
Sorry, I didn't
Okay.
get your question.
So okay. So my question is in this base test now, the base
Mm.
test is our package. You
Mm-hmm.
have login as a class. It's possible to also have another class called open browser, right? If you want to log in that login class,
Mm.
it's possible for you to, what's that object oriented example that you give us? It's possible for us to be going to that open browser class to log in, to open a browser before you now successfully log in. It's like you are linking the two classes together.
That is exactly the concept of object. So
Okay.
you have many classes interacting with one base class, or many classes interacting together. So here right now, what I have done here, I created a base test. Let me rename this. I don't know, I don't like the name. Let me call it base. I don't know if it will be the same. It won't be the same. Should not. No. Okay, so I'm trying to explain something. So here now, so here, what I have done is I created a package. All right. So this package, what I want you to do is, I want this package I'm creating to be like what we are experimenting with. We want to be able to log into sales demo. All right, because we are teaching navigation, locators, and all of that. So I want to separate it from what we've been working on before now. What we've been working on before now is what's the name, is open browser and Java. So I've separated it now. Now for that, I created a base test. All right, this base test will only have navigation. It will only have that's a navigation, yeah, it will only have navigation and my browser selections. So I have my browser's property, and I have my navigation, and that's the only thing it will have. Well, except if I want to put every other browser there later on, and so on. So and then for my login will be separated. However, it will also be linked to base test. I will extend properties from login. Okay, I will extend properties from base test to login, such that by the time I run login, it will read things from base test too. So when you log in, at least it will navigate, it will go to your browser and then navigate. And you know that browser and navigation is in base test, it's not in your login. So what we have done right now, or what we'll be doing right now, is to um, explain the concepts behind creating page object classes and separating them from each other. So there are classes linked to what? To a base class somewhere. All right. Let me call it base class, not base test. The name is, sorry, I just keep renaming. My naming is important. Let me call it base class. Okay. All right. So I have a base class here, and I have uh, my login, my user login class, okay, right.
Sorry, is it should we even call it login? Do we have credentials to login?
Yes, there's credentials. Look at it on
Okay.
this page. Although we might not do login today, all we want to do is to be able to locate, because really location is important. See the login, usernames are
Oh, okay.
this, password, and this. So we just copy, put it in here, and login. Okay, so I have a base class here. I'm removing what is not necessary. Let me just call this get. Same. And there would not be need for this. Okay, now this is like my base test now. All right, this is like my base test. Sorry, I need to confirm something. I need to confirm something. Okay, confirm something. Okay, So I was explaining, is my screen up now? I was explaining locators that we must, how to locate elements. I don't want to jump the gun because we might eventually get confused when we start doing our projects on our own. Okay, so I think I have a base class now, and I have a test that I want to test run with it. Yep. However, there is still another thing I need to do. I need to create my page object. I need to create my class. So the essence of, I'm going to explain to you. Okay, I will explain to you. So I will say create a new package and call it page object. Page object. Okay, so page object, what I want to do inside my page object is to be able to select all my elements. So to be like, I select my elements and I create object for it. But inside my test, I will have to carry out actions on it. What do I really want to test will be inside test. But inside page object, it will be like elements, it will just be elements, right? Element selection. So that's just like a simple explanation for it. Now inside this page object, I will say now the user login I called here is supposed to be user login here. So I will go change the other one to login test. User login will be this. Then I will change this one to login text. I know I didn't name it well. I'll change this to. However, if you are working on your own, you have to give it the actual name of that test. So there is something called naming convention in automation. There's a way you name it such that it will be the name of that test case. Alright? The test case ID dash the name of the text without space. Alright, so this is going to be I will just say user login test. User login. Always end it with test, okay? Should I have done it that way? Okay. I'm just thinking I could have left open browser. Okay, open browser is still here now. Okay, let's call open browser something. What was open browser doing earlier? Open browser was opening our browser and navigating to somewhere. All right, so I will call open browser, I will call it let me just, since it's inside the package base, I don't want, if I change this name, it will affect every class name in this thing. So I will need to be refactoring, which is like a big issue. So let me call this however, so if my base class is inside my base, then this is going to be my test cases. Test cases. Now, if this is my test cases, then the first one, I'm going to delete this. I don't need it. delete. So my first test is what? User login test. My page object has user login, which is like the classes you will write for your inspected elements. This is the classes you will write for your inspected elements. This is the test you're supposed to run on login. And here is the base to run. I think we've had this one before now, right? Let me delete this. Okay, so that everything can align. So inside this base is a long list of, but in particular, I have my base class, which is like the open browser. Where is it again? My base class. This is my base class. Okay, the other time I said I will change this one to get. Okay. I think I have it done now. So I have my base class. I have my word again. I have my page object, user login, then I have my user login test. All right, now I will come here because we are working on locating elements. Because we are working on locating. Okay. Because we are working on locating elements, all right, then I'm going to declare my web driver, write a constructor, then now start looking for those elements, just like the normal way I explained earlier to coding. That was why we dealt with Java and so on. So let's import. What am I importing? I need Selenium WebDriver, right? And I need okay, so let's go. Import Selenium. I think it is com or org dot openc dot selenium dot webdriver. Okay, when we get to other parts, we'll get to import it. Now I want to pick what's the name? I want to pick element on the user page. I want to also pick that swag lab that we saw the other time. All right, I want to be able to pick it. I want to be able to pick this. I want to be able to pick this, and pick this. All right. Okay, so I said the first thing you will do is, of course, you have to extend properties from your base. What is our base? Our base is the package, right? Our base is what? The package base, package base, package base. What's the name again? Base class. All right. So you come here and say public class user login extends property from what? The base class. Yeah. Extends property. User extends from. Okay, I need to import, right? Okay, I need to import that. So I'll say import import base dot class. Is that what it is? Base is base now. Is somebody getting it?
I'm trying to.
Okay, so this is what happened. My base package is a different package from my page object package. They are not in the same packages. So this script that I'm writing right now, this user login, is in page object package, whereas my base class is in another package. So for me to be able to now use or extend the properties that are inside this my base class here, you remember this base class, for me to be able to like inherit that question you were asking the other time, to be able to like get properties from this page to use it in a different package, what I will do is right in this my page, I will import it first. All right, so where is it located? It's inside base class. So after importing it, then I can now say user login extends base class. So by saying extend, it means that I want to be able to my object in this particular class, I want to be able to access properties of objects in this base class too, right? So that is what I'm doing.
Thank you.
Yes. So this is user login now. I've imported base class, which is this other one here. Which is this base class. Then I've extended properties from it. Now the next thing is my web driver. So I will say, let me just declare it public web driver, because there's nothing one is doing without the web driver. So I'll say public web driver. So after doing this, I will then write my constructor. We talk about constructor and we said that usually it carries the same name as the class name and it self initializes itself. Alright, so I will say public user login. Alright, user login. Okay, so public user login. So what am I what parameter is this one taking in? Before I get parameter, let me just say this dot driver equals to driver. That's what I'm bringing in. Okay, this dot driver equals to driver. Now there's something called page factory. All right, just so you know, let's go to Google to check it. So there is something called what? Page factory in Selenium. All right, so it's one of the Selenium's library that helps WebDriver to find elements. Let me put it that way. So just note page factory. So here I will come to import. I want to use page factory, so I will come here, import it first, and say as time goes on you get used to what are the necessary things you need to import to be able to. So okay, of course it's part of Selenium. Open Selenium, open Selenium, I think it's under support page factory. So when I import it, then I can use it. By the way, I should bring in WebDriver here. WebDriver driver. Okay, WebDriver driver. Then I can say page factory, right? Page factory. Okay, so that's how you initialize elements for the page factory. All right, under your constructor. Okay, so that is what constructor. Let me comment it down. Okay, now all these ones are just two stories. We need to be able to pick elements, and we are going there. So let's go to where we'll pick elements. So I will say inspect elements. Okay, so page element, actually, you know I was saying the other time that you can use find element by or find by. So if you are using find element by, it means that you are using the Selenium web element. All right. But if you are using the find by, it means you are using elements from page factory. All right, these are just library connected to Selenium. You don't have any issues with it. Once you import it, you'll be able to use it. Okay, so I have inspect element. How do we inspect elements? So I'm using page factory, so I can use find by. Add find by. You use add find by. That's the way you call it. You say add find by. All right. So what am I finding? I want to find CSS selector. All right. I want to find CSS selector. Usually you put the selector in here like this. So I want to find CSS selector for swag. What's the name now? For swag labs. Okay, so the first thing is I want to find this swag lab itself. So I will come here, copy what? CSS selector. That's the one I want to use right now. So I will say CSS selector. Okay, so what I copied, I will put it in here. So I say find by, oh sorry, I'm omitting something here. Find by CSS. If you say CSS, it will come down. If you say ID, it will bring option. If you say name, it will bring it out. If you say tag name, it will bring it out. So find by CSS, when you enter it, then you can put it straight up like this. Yeah, that should be correct. Okay, so I have find by CSS, which is this. What is this one saying? Remove. Oh, okay. I don't. Okay, so I guess I know why it is highlighted. So we say find by that. Then what other thing? So I will now say web elements. What web element am I talking about? I will give it a name. I'm talking about web element. What is that name again? Let's check. Web element. What is the web element? Swag labs. So web element swag labs. Web elements swag labs. Okay, so this is like you declaring your web element as swag lab. All right, you call it web element. This is the first thing. You know, when you are declaring, you can say string this, int that, boolean that. You get. So here it is what web element swag labs, right? Why? Because it is what a web element. All right. I think I should import web element too. Okay, it is imported already. So I have web element as part of Selenium. Now I have swag labs. That is just inspect elements. What if I want to select by I've done CSS selector, right? Okay. What if I want to select this element, this one, this one? Okay, I can copy and select by expert. How will that go? All right, so I'll come here and say okay, I'm still inspecting the same thing. No, it's still swag lab. So I can change this name, maybe swag lab CSS. Okay, so I will say I'd find by is expert I want to use now. So it will be expert, right? Then I'll put what I copied. That is how expert always look like. It is a part. Okay, so I will then say web element web element swag lab. No, I'm not using get. Swag labs is but okay. Okay, so I've used what's the name? Okay, we still have time.
I think there's a mistake in that our swag lab.
Where?
The name swag glass. That's what you wrote. I
Oh,
think it's okay.
okay, swag lab CSS. This one.
No, the second one, the web element swag lab.
Okay, this one. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is swag lab expert. So I'm trying to show that you can select using CSS selector, and you can select using experts for the same elements. Okay, now let me see what else is available to that thing, because it's like it's not it's we don't have much available for it. We don't have much available for it, so it is what is available you make use of. There's really nothing much. If I copy the inner HTML and I come here to paste, then I will check what else is available. Can you see there's nothing actually available right now? So we've made use of everything available for this guy. All right, so I've made use of it, so I have been able to do what? To inspect it. Now let's go to inspection element for username and
Sorry, please, I
password.
have a question.
All right.
Is it possible for any of this locator not to find that particular element? Is it possible? Even though after doing this, and maybe when you're running it, is not finding it. Is it possible?
It's not possible. There are so many locators for it not to find.
Okay.
It will
Okay.
always You will always get one of it to find it. Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, so the question is, if for example I use CSS locator,
Yes.
it didn't find it, I can always go and use another one.
Yes.
One of
That
it
is the
would
point.
eventually find it.
What do you say?
I'm saying one of it would eventually find
Find
that
it.
element. Oh,
Yes,
thank you.
exactly. If it's not CSS selected to be expert, it is not expert to be ID or class name or tag name or link test. Somehow one of it will find it.
Okay, but is the error able to tell me that okay, he's unable to find it? If, for example, I use
Yes.
CSS, okay,
Yes,
okay,
you will get an error message that tells you that you are not able to find that element, and with that you'll be able to change and use another kind of selector.
okay, thank you.
All right, so I've done for that title on the web page. So let's see if we can do for username. So inspection, we have, you click here and you click here, and then you come here and copy. All right, I've done. Okay, so yeah, even without right copying, doing right copy, right from this page I can, okay, right from this page I can see that there is name. I can see that so let me use name first. Name is what? User dash name. All right, so I will come here and say add find elements, add find add find by name, find by name. I have this. Oh no, why I keep terminating that. Okay, so I have web element. What now? Swag labs. Swag lab what now? It's not swag lab we are doing this time around. I think it's username we are doing this time around.
His username, yeah.
So what did I copy? I think it's user dash name that we saw. Let me copy it
Yes,
again.
user dash.
Let me copy it again. This is name, right? Sometimes. Okay, that's it. Copy. So I'll come here and paste it. So web element username. I'll just leave it at username because I'll find by name. We have used expert name CSS. Okay, let's see what else we can use. So we have find by okay, let's go. What other thing? Tag name. All right, tag name. So I already told you want to see your tag name. Come here and say show jump down properties. So I can come here and say where is my tag name? Where is my tag name? So it is alphabetical. So my tag name here is what? Inputs. I'll copy that and I'll say select by tag name. Select by tag name. Then I have web element. Username tag. Okay, so here we have tag name. Here we have name. Okay, so we have CSS selector, expert, name, tag name. All right. What other thing have we not considered? Name, ID. All right. We have ID. We have link test. ID link test. Let's go on to password. Let's see. I will use ID for password. So we'll come here and say password. Let me close this. Pick and then click and then highlight. So we see password here. The ID for password here is what? Just password. So I will come here and say find by ID. Okay. Password. Web element ID. Password ID. Okay, now we have done ID. I think what is left for us is what? Link test. At least these are the most common selectors. All right, link test, from the word link test, is usually used where there is an hyperlink. All right, where is there an hyperlink? Okay, so I'm very sure login button here should have an hyperlink. Let's check. This is what? Login, right? And is there a link to this button? No. Wow. So we may not be able to use this to explain. Let's see if we can get another one. Okay. Okay. What can I use? What suggestion? Let me inspect this get started. Let's see if it has an hyperlink. Okay. So this is get started. Okay. So yes, we have an hyperlink. Can you see href user slash sign up? It means that when you click on this, it will go straight to that link. Alright, this is directly linked to, so for you to know an hyperlink, you must have your tag starting with A, and you must have the particular reference, hyperreference or hyperlink, as what? As something that will look like a directory or a URL, whichever one. Is showing that that particular element is linked to another link. Alright, is linked to another link. So yeah, this one can be really tricky, so I will just use shutdown properties. Okay, shutdown properties. Then you can see now, see that href, see that page is linked to this, so you know that there is a link in there. All right, so I think that is how we do it. We just say link tests the href. Yeah, that's how you do it. So let's go, because I don't think there is the link. Okay, so I will come here, I will copy this. Okay, link wait, the link test should be there itself. Let me, the link test should be there. ID class, they didn't put text equals to. Okay, however, get started free, where is get started free? Anyway, let's just see if it will work. I'd find by link test. I rarely use this, but it's one of the popular inspectors. Okay, at link test, what's the name? Get started. I think it's get started. I don't think it's the, okay. Let me just use get started free. Get started free. Okay. Okay. So I have web element what now? Get started. Okay, so let me do that login. That login does not have link test, so I will probably use class name. Does it? Okay, have I used class name? I've not used class name, so I'll probably use class name for that login. So let's do class name. So I will go back to source lab. So source lab has login here. So I have name, type, value, ID, but I'm not sure if I have a class name. So I will come here on the non property and see there is a class name here. So I'm going to copy. It's like you have to be careful with this copy. So these are some of the things that slows down automation. Copy. Now you come here and you paste. So that is my class name. However, for this one, I'm still going to just put it inside comment for now. Why? Because we don't have a base class that will navigate to that page yet, so that we won't go and shoot ourselves in the leg. But we will still make use of link test. I'm very sure of it. So we have web element login button. So we have login button, we have password, we have username, and we have the title on that page. So these are what? Elements, web elements. So today we've done web elements. What are web elements? We've done inspecting and locating web elements. All right. So I think I don't want to rush it. We are going to stop here. Navigating to a web browser, inspecting web elements, and then locating web elements. So we've been able to cover that. So tomorrow we will continue, and by tomorrow we will write methods for our elements, such that we'll be able to actually we'll be able to how would I say that, to connect it to our base class. All right, we'll be able to connect it to our base class and then log in. Right, we'll by the end of tomorrow we should be able to conclude on logging in successfully. All right, so I think I'm done with that. If you have questions, you can ask, and as we round off today's class.
Yes, please. I have a question. Yes,
Okay.
can you go back to? I was asking before I think somebody called me, so I'm sure you missed that question.
Okay.
What was the essence of that constructor on this page?
Okay, this page. We've not started
Yes.
making use of it.
Yes, but there's a place where you did constructor.
This one.
It's under the. Yes.
We've not started making use of it. Actually, I put this one here because after inspecting elements and you start writing methods, you will start making use of your constructor. The essence of the constructor is so that you can perform page object model. I explained this in object of object in OOP. We are talking about object of object in OOP, right? So this is what allows you to be able to access an object in another class.
Okay.
So you have to declare a constructor. There has to be an instantiation of your constructor method.
Okay. So meaning it's possible in a team.
Okay.
In a team of let's say 5, you can have somebody work on this page object. Just the person's task is just to locate all the elements on that application.
Yeah, it's possible for the person to just to only focus on locating elements, but there might be issues. There might be issues and there might be conflict when you start merging codes. I believe it's better for everyone to, if it is this area this person is working on, let that person do both the inspection, writing of the classes, and also writing of the tests, because of conflict issue by the time you start merging codes. So if you inspect, at least you know that okay, this is a variable, or this is my web element, and then you start making use of those objects in your test, then it is very easy and faster than for you to start looking for how did this person write the inspection, where is this element, then you go and look for it and look for the method before you now start writing tests. I think that one will even be longer at the end of the day. It will take more time. So I think the best thing is to understand inspection very well, locating elements, with that, I mean, to me, inspection doesn't take time. Honestly, it's actually faster if you understand how to pick it. You just pick it and just copy paste, copy paste, copy paste, and you're done.
Okay. I'm also trying to see the advantage that this, because the way you've done it, you have a base class, you
Yeah,
have a
let me
content.
explain it again. Although when we get to proper building of framework, we will still explain it again. So this that I've done here is part of framework building. So here I'm trying to build a TDD framework, that is test driven approach to automation. All right, so I have a base class or a base object or a base test, whichever way you want to put it. There is a base somewhere, and what this base is doing is it's serving as the engine, as a controller, right? So inside it, you have your browser property, you have your base URL, you have your maybe user credentials. Maybe there's a user credential somewhere, it's not only you that is accessible to that site. So you can have your user credential in such a way that maybe it's even in a note somewhere now linked to that base page, whichever way. So you have all these configuration setting in your base page, linked to your base page. So it is a base, it's like an engine. Now there are classes that will be connected to this base page. All right, they will be connected to this base page. They want property, because when you start running your test, you are not just running that test alone. You know your test will start reading from line 1, meaning that it will go back to your class, then go back to your base page, now start reading it line by line. It will read the first line in your base. Oh, it says use browser Firefox. Then it says go to this URL. Then maybe after going to the URL, it now moves to your class itself, and it says okay, the first one is saying that okay, check if you are on the home page, right? And then it will keep running. In fact, it's possible that it runs 2 3 4 classes before you finally get to the last line in your tests. You get? So at the end of the day, the concept of page object model is framework management, right? So you have your base class, right, which is like your control room. Then you have your page object, which are like the elements on each, we call it page object, on each page. So you can do it in such a way that um each page of your software, or each function of your software, all right, people test based on what they say, functional testing. They say this blah 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 testing. This is where the knowledge of functional testing will come into play, because at some point you start deciding if this particular function should form a whole page, and then this other function should form another whole page, and this other function should form another whole page, because that will allow for independency of your test. So one test will not have to rely on another, and then eventually everything will now fail. No, each test will be separate on their own, separate entity. So if you now say there is a user login page object, then you can now say there is valid password as another page object, right? There is invalid password as another page object, right? Then you now see maybe sign up is also there, maybe which other one, so many others. So those ones I mentioned, user login, sign up, valid password, that maybe another password part, you have valid password, password component test, and maybe password validity, or this one that you are checking for password type, how many strings, how many that one component part. Then you can now separate it into, say, okay, component testing, integrated testing, everything still under page object. So under page object, you now create another package and call it component testing, and I create another package and call it integrated testing, right? So maybe under test cases too, you also have that, right? So it's like it's framework management. Let me just put it that way, because it will allow you to be able to organize your test properly, and anyone looking to maybe modify code, update it and all of that, they will be able to get it very easily. They'll be able to get it very easily. They'll be able to read that, okay, it will be as if they are the ones that wrote it, right? So I think that's the essence of me coming here and saying, okay, this is user login, this user login. By the time we finish this user login tomorrow, you will understand how that separating classes, or not putting everything solely together, the concept of OOP that we learned, how it comes into play here. So we have the page object, a lot of it, in fact a lot of it. Then you have tests that can even be like triple or four times more than your page object. Of course your page object cannot, it will be more, but it might not be as much, it won't be as much as your test cases. Your test cases will now, for one page object class, you can have up to 10-20 test cases for it, right? So the test cases, we keep going back to just one page object to read object values from them. So when you get your page object class and you get it very well, it will be easy to write your test cases. So let's just take it line by line so that we don't get confused. Tomorrow we will complete this test, and by next week we'll start talking about how to do a framework, like completing, if writing a configuration file, right, importing a reporter, right, and then publishing your test results. I think those are the things that make up a framework. Then we will also talk about test engine on the final week, which is upper week, which is final week is the upper week before your project. So we'll talk then about what's the name? I've missed the word I wanted to say. Okay, right. So that is